Hi, this is a very one backdrop designer. I want to show you a couple of new things that I've just introduced. If you hold down A and click on set, it's going to choose all of the brushes and it will show you what brush you're going to plot next. It kind of just chooses any one at random. So as you can see, as I click, it's just choosing random brushes, including some of the merged ones that I got in there earlier. So if I want to get rid of all these excess ones that weren't built in, you can go up to edit and clear custom files, and that will just restart and flush those out. So I was trying some things to do with merging, fixing a couple of little bugs which are now good, and I want to show you how to load in another brush. So you just click here, and one of the packs that I gave you is the oil brush marks, and I want to sort of load a couple of these in. So I'll just say OK for the names. It's all good. I want ones that kind of look like standing grass. This one's pretty good as well. Let's just go for these 5. So all I need to do is just hold down A and click, and that will choose them all. You can also control click to toggle on and off. Right, so it's going to choose these at random. If I hold down shift, you'll see it starts going a bit crazy. It's just jumping between which one it's going to choose and basically giving you a kind of random choice there. Right, and I want to get the color right, so I'll bring in the shader here to bring in new colors, and then I'll just keep an eye on this one up here, make the colors that I want this just to have bright painted tones, and let's make the brush a bit smaller, and if I hold down shift, it's basically gonna give me random ones of those. Now I can get even more variety by switching on random flip X and random scale, and that's kind of nicer, and even more with random color. So try and sort of slightly deviate from these tones based on this slider, and get some like little kind of muddy marks in there. So that's pretty cool. I don't like the background color, so I'm just going to choose sky bottom and pick one of these greens, and then sky top can be maybe a bit brighter or darker, something like that. And I'm just holding down shift as I do this and just making some marks. Now let's say I want to actually have these go into perspective, so I'm just going to clear that. I'll just do shift and backspace, and I'm going to bring in the eye level factor. Right, this means that all the brushes are going to be affected in scale. Right, so I've got the eye level position, eye level adjust will amplify that effect, and eye level factor is how much that brush is going to be affected as well. Right, so there's a couple of these three, they all play a part, but this one especially, this middle one, is going to say whether that brush is going to be affected at all by eye level and eye position. Right, so I'll just bring that in a good bit, and I'll just start painting. And the cool thing with that is that everything gets smaller in the distance, and I can kind of make up this pseudo perspective. Loads of random splodges here. Just going to make this one a bit darker. And it still has that slightly painterly look to it. Right, so that is going to be that. And the cool thing I can do is I can always mess around with the eye level adjust now. And so this is like the amplitude based on how far it is from this line, and that's the eye position. You can see when I change that, everything gets a bit funky, and it's kind of cool just for an effect maybe, or for adjusting stuff. So if you want to kind of show off something cool to your friends, you can say, look at this, woo woo, do that kind of thing. But once you've got that where you want it, then you can just carry on painting. Now I am going to load in a few different brushes, so I'll just click here and go for maybe some more horizontal ones. So 9, 10, So these brushes were made on a canvas, oil and canvas. Just some ultramarine blue, and yeah, let's go for that one. And there's a nice big one there. These will be my horizontals. Okay, so I think that was from 9. So I'll just do Control and click. So holding down Control and clicking, and then I'll scale these down a bit. And if I hold down Shift, I can see kind of what I'm going to get there. And I want to make these a bit smaller. Right, and now I want to bring in the shader, and let's just pick some blues just by right clicking there. These are quite good, and I'll just start bringing these in. I'm getting a very impressionistic piece of artwork here. Right, I'm just going to go layer beneath and press 5 for half opacity and just bracketing up for a bit more scale. And I just want to just add a bit of base to this. Little river scene, I guess. Right, and now I guess I could paint in some hills, so I'll go to layer 7. I'm just going to Control click these brushes again, and I'm going to turn off the eye level factor. So you can always change anything that had eye level factor on. I can always play with those values later, but if I've got it switched off and I'm brushing, it's going to be immune to that sort of effect. Just bring in a bit of brown here, and I'm just going to rotate the brush. Now I'm getting a bit of latency from the software, so I could just merge everything down. I don't really need to worry about the eye level factor anymore, so I'm just going to click merge all, and that is going to give me a kind of fixed frame here, a fixed one single plot of what you see there. But I want to move this. I'm going to copy it or cut it even, and I'm going to put it up to layer 10. Right, and I'll just double click and press enter, double click and press backspace to reset that name. I think you can also right click or something, or middle mouse click. You can reset the names and stuff here as well. Right, so I've got layer 10 there. I'm going to go layer 9, and I can sort of plot down some sort of mountain there like that. And the brush is very big, so I'm just going to bring it down a bit, and yeah, you can get some nice funky marks. I press X, I can flip that this way. Now I just want to get a little bit of lighter tones on this. And I can press tab over any point and it will sample the colours. I'm just going to press 0 because I like the full opacity. It's very kind of paint dotty. I'm going to bring that colour range down. I don't like it being too strong. And yeah, I'm getting some nice things here, so I can even colour pick there and do some more stuff. I'm just pressing tab to colour pick that range, and it gives me some random tones, which helps that brush look unique. And you see I need to go to the layer front. Just going to rotate with E. A bit more tones in here. And I'll play around with the sky, so I can actually colour pick the sky. And I'm going to use some of the horizontal brushes, and just maybe 5, tab, tab, tab. So tab is basically colour picking, and it's quite nice. Right, so I think now the water needs just a little bit of something. So I'll make the brush really small. I'm just going to hold down shift and go really quickly across here and just skip across the water. me a bit more. Maybe I'll just press tab on that, and I do want it to have a bit of blue tones. Yeah, like that. And I'm not too worried about being perfect. I want this to feel like real paint. And maybe some mountains in the background, so I'm just going to go down to there and let's just pick that. There. I'm just going to right click on this color and alt click it and then tab here, and I get a few variations in that tone. I just want to add in some sort of shapes back here. Cool. Now I've used up about 1700 points, so I'm going to do a merge all again. And the cool thing with this is I can actually still change the sky color where there's a bit of a gap, and I can see what a different tone sky might look like. Bit of an orange sky. I think there's going to be more of a blue sky to match the water. And maybe the bottom could be bright, like that. And there we go, get a nice little painting. So now I can carry on. I'll just do a little kind of tab to get some of those tones and just carry on sort of painting. Yeah. So I've got Flippy X, random scale, and it's choosing between a couple of oil marks. Let's just choose a couple more. Tab every now and again. So the way Backdrop Designer works is it basically remembers all the plots that you make, and that starts to create a little bit of a lag, and you can merge all those plots into one brush, and it remembers all those brushes. Every time you merge, it basically gives you, if I just put this back there, it gives you an image of what you captured, and that might be useful later on, but yeah, that's kind of what it does. Right, so that's now done. I want to do some cool stuff now, like turn it into pixel art. So you see I just shift to the right there and I get this pixel art. I'm going to turn off the CRT effect and change the dither mode and the range and the dither type. And let's just put that back to there. You can see I can get pretty wild looking image from that. There's a few different modes to give you more colors. But yeah, I'm just messing around. Feeling a bit of a retro old school PC vibe now. Definitely when you see the dither effect, feels like the first iteration of Coral Paint or something. So that's done. So I can merge everything again, and everything will go to that bottom layer, that merge layer. So I'm just going to click on it and click preview, and what I can actually do is add blurriness to that, so I can blur some things out. You can see it's quite an interesting effect. If I wanted to bring something out of focus, like the sky or anything, it's got a bit of a weird issue at the edges of stuff. I think the pixels are just getting a little bit dark, or when I drew with that brush, it was a little bit dark, so the blurriness really does show that up, so you need to be careful with that. But I can turn that preview off. Another cool thing I can do is with the preview on, I can bring in this slider and it starts to replace the colors it's looking at with whatever you feed into it here, so I can get some interesting effects and a little bit of a tint on the color palette, as well as still being able to change the sky and getting something a bit more exotic. And then when I'm happy with that, I can click bake and see how that looks. That looks pretty cool like that. Let's bring in that range a bit more and bring in that CRT effect, and we've got something that looks proper old school now. Again, I can still change that sky, try and get a colour almost exact. That's nice. So that's pretty much it. You can load in any brush you like. You can load in an image, face, a tree here, and bring it into the pixel mode, and it will just simply pixelate your tree. The tree as well. I'm just going to turn off force scale so it doesn't get locked, and flip that over here. And what I can do is, now that I've put that tree down, I want to do an auto update to it and bring in the shader, and that's going to let me change the color tone. So anything black, I make black. Anything that was blue, I'm going to make black as well. Anything that was orange, I'm going to make a kind of bluey green. And anything else, like the green tones, I'm going to make quite bright green. Let's just bring that up a bit. There we go. And that is that. I can add other things like little birds and things. Maybe I can do that with the oil shapes. I might have a little bird shape here. Let's see if I've got something in here. This one might work. So I've got that now. I just want to make everything black. I'm just going to right click to get all of those. Make sure I bring in the new color, and then I can scale this down and do a little rotate. There we go. That looks kind of like a bird. There. Just get that a bit better. Okay, we've got some random stuff on, so I'm just going to turn that off. There we go. And I want to make a little bit of a bright spot, but I've already put the tree on that merge list. I'm just going to undo a couple of times and go to a different layer and do Control Alt Z to basically move those two plots to layer 6. And I want to do something in between. I want to choose the circle. Now the circle is pretty cool because it's got a few different layers to it. Let's just bring in some tones. And you can see I can bring in a nice sun like that. Put that back there and make a nice sunset. Just going to rotate it a bit. I don't want it to be seen too much, so just fade that in a bit more there. Let's just bring the opacity down a bit. And there we go, get a nice sun in there. And I want that to be seen in the water a bit, so I'll go for my oil strokes. Let's just turn that off so I can see. Can't really see. What can I see? Let's just reset everything up. Okay, there we go. I want this one and this one. I want to pick that, and I want to right click it, just get that yellow, make sure I'm using the new tones, and scale it down. And now I just want to do some random flip X and random scale, and just start plotting that down there like that. Get a little kind of sun. I'm just going to move this here and right click so that all the tones get the same effect. Like that. And I guess there's some other things I could add. Let's just make this here. It's going to right click to get that and right click to make them all the same, and then 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, okay, and scale that up. And I just want to make a little bit of contrast. That's all I want to do, is just a bit of contrast in the foreground here. can always rotate this as well. And maybe I just want some little kind of flower tops. So I'll go for that one. Let's go for kind of yellowish. Press 0 for full opacity. And I just want to dot a few of these down here. Just at the edge, kind of where they get caught by the light. I'm just going to scale them down a bit here to sort of suggest that they're further away. And then I'm just going to pick some black, right click that just to get a bit of contrast. Press 7, 8, 9. And also this way, just rotate a bit and scale it up. And I could also add a little bit of contrast to the mountain there, but I need to be careful I don't make it too dark. So I'm just, just rotating it a bit. Now what you saw there was me pressing W, and W actually makes this whole scene tileable, which is quite nice. If I switch that to there, so you can see you can switch between the shader and the, you know, the graphics however you like. I really like, you know, design it with the pixel mode on, and basically when you're happy with that you can save it as an image. And I'm going to put this desktop and I'll just call it to process, because I want to show you a little tool that I've been working on. That's cool. I can save this as well as a file and it'll do its best to load it in, but I'm not too fussed. This is just for a demo, but that's going to be that. I'm going to escape out of this. I use Game Maker to make this tool, and I want to show you a little bit of C64 Fixer. Let me just open a project. Pretty sure I did a small update to it today. So C64 Fixer Core 6. Okay, and this tool will let me convert that image to a properly usable image. There we go. So that's now, it's going to scan that and convert it into pixels here. It's already pixels. This could be any image, could be a photograph or anything that you painted by hand or you've done a digital painting, but it's going to put that in here, and then it's going to analyze the blocks for errors, and hopefully we get a decent result. This could be hit or miss, especially this many colors. So the Commodore's restricted to the 3 colors per block plus 1 background color. So that's all the bad blocks that show me. I'm just going to press I, and we can see done a not too bad job. It's automatically chose this color as the background. And if I press O, you can see I can toggle between the two now. I'm curious about using, in fact, that's already, yeah. So this tool is going to be used to clean up the art, as well as, you know, fixing some bits to make them look a bit better, because I can see the block sort of system used here and there, but it's actually done not a too bad job. Now I could always, you see it's quite bad there, I could always change this color up. I'm going to change it for this light grey, so I'll press F for 15 hexadecimal code. You can see now the blocks look bad there. Let's try 12, which is ABC. That one's pretty good. Is it as good as AB? What about brown? Let's try 8 or 9. So you can try any of these at any time. Let's try green, that's 5. You see the tree sort of got improved, but this one looks not as good now. So I'm just going to do 11, that's AB. That's what we had before. Let's try red, number 2. You can see how these look worse. So it's kind of just making your own call on it. Let's try 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 is good for the tree. not so good for this, but I could clean it up manually. 6, 7, 8. 7's quite good actually. That's not too bad, quite like that one, but it does need work here. 9, A, B, C, D, E, and F. Yeah. And I press O, you'll see the original versus what I made, and it does need a good bit of cleanup. So it's this mountain's got a bit scrappy, but the whole thing needs some sort of work anyway, because I've done it all kind of freehand style. It's not like your pixel by pixel style, so it does need a bit of cleanup anyway, but it's at least ironed out a lot of things, and all you have to do is go over those areas you think it looks bad. So you see there would have been a whole lot of issues to fix had I not run it through this, and yeah, now it's pretty good. So that's it for this video. Hope you enjoy using Backdrop Designer. This tool here is a work in progress, and it will be updated maybe every other week or so. And once you save that out, once you save your image and you know your background color, you can use a tool called GangEd 2, which will let you bring in this image, but you need to convert it to a bitmap. So in the future, I'm going to actually bypass that whole process and make it spit out the data of your background here. So this is the image coming in. This is the image that it processed to the correct colors, and then this image is with the restrictions applied, and the background color you can assign pressing 0 to 9 or A, B, C, D, E, F. So you press those keys and that will assign a new background and recalculate the restrictions based on that. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.